Well, I'm outside today and the air quality is not great, but it could be a lot worse. And I'm sitting out, I'm watering a tree right now, and it's called the Three Sisters, because it was cut down 1906, and these three magnificent trees grew out of the one tree, and this video is about David Tucker again, who David, his body died a few days ago, and the grief is hard, and I want to tell you a funny story about the Three Sisters and David Tucker. Many years ago, a group of us were having a sound healing ceremony, singing songs from the jungle and going into various forms of trances. And we had told people, now you can go outside, but please stay on the deck. Don't go out because there's poison oak out there. But David, being the guy he was and still is, found his way to be out here hugging the Three Sisters in the moonlight. And I noticed that he was outside, and then I went outside to check on him and couldn't find him. And then I got this intuition to walk down to the Three Sisters, and here he was behind me, holding on to the tree. And at the time, the poison oak that grows up this tree in protection, and he was hugging the tree with poison oak between he and I don't know if you can see it or not. But anyway, it's a vine. It grows way up the tree. And so I thought, well, this is interesting. So I took David into the kitchen and the bathroom and got him to take his clothes off and dropped his clothes into a garbage bag, treating them like radioactivity, and then helped him wash himself down with rubbing alcohol. And he was slowly coming out of this trance, and we were having a good enjoyment about it. And so the next day and days after that, he didn't have any poison oak because the rubbing alcohol breaks down the toxic poison oak oils. And every time I look at the Three Sisters, I think about David that night, and I laugh. And I thank you, David Tucker, for all the wonderful laughter that we've had. And I was talking to a fellow by the name of John, and he was saying how he found the last video useful, particularly about the crunchy parts of any relationship with anybody who's died. You know, because like what happened, and it's not going to unhappen. And can you create a more pleasant alternative narrative? And so I would like to tell you about a narrative that developed, and that was once a long time ago. David wanted me to fly out to the East Coast and drive across the country with him, and just enjoy the travel. And I've done that with other people. Blue roads, not the super slabs, and just kind of taking our time and enjoying the moment. And I told him I couldn't do that because I had other commitments. And he was disappointed, and he understood, of course, but I was disappointed too. So I want you to know that I learned from a psychologist in Buffalo that if you have memories that make you sad, then you can replay them, you can reshoot them, you can redo them. And this fella had, without doubt, the most saddest, this fella in Buffalo had the saddest life story I'd ever heard. And one night, doing some work with the spirits and sound healing, he managed to redo his whole childhood. He on the inside, in his inner universe, he did like he had the childhood that he wished he'd had. And he had the effect of it in his body. And so, you know, the other night I went across the country with David. Blue roads, sleeping in the car, sleeping in tents, sleeping in inexpensive motels, and just talking to folks as we crossed the country. It was a wonderful trip. Really, really superb bonding of our friendship. And, you know, another memory I had was that his birthday was on New Year's Eve. I think it was on New Year's Eve, but he wanted my wife and I to come to and he was disappointed when we couldn't come to his birthday party because we had a long-standing commitment to go up to the Kashaya reservation and to have New Year's with the folks up there in the Kashaya Pomo people and the Smith Roundhouse in particular, where June and I had actually physically met for the first time in this lifetime. And so I have had a few nights of celebrating David's birthday and, you know, just telling story and relaxing and laughing and singing and just whatever was coming up in the moment. And that really helped me clear away the sadness that that David was unhappy with me and that I had disappointed him. And the final thing I wanted to talk about is the night that he died, the day that he died, or that his body died. I was stricken with sadness and just feeling it, not trying to make it go away, not trying to change it. And I fell asleep earlier than usual, and I woke up earlier than usual, and I felt turbulent. And, you know, I knew that my world was now different. I haven't seen David for 3 years or 4 years, or I don't remember how long. And I was getting reports from people how he looked and how he was doing and how he couldn't talk and how he couldn't move and all that kind of stuff. And that he didn't really want any company from me anyway. I don't know if other people got to visit him. But I would go, my spirit would go and visit him very often. And in sleep, and when I would get into a trance, you know, with sound or with the forest or meditating or whatever. And so then I had a cup of coffee and did some stretches and woke up a bit and then purposely went into a trance. It was using my breath and just lying calmly and going into these places where if I go to these places, I know that I'm going into trance time. And so I was in trance time. It was, 7 o'clock in the morning. And in this vision, some stuff happened, and suddenly here's David across a room. It was green room, I remember. And he looked quite frail, but he was standing up. And as he walked closer to me, his body fleshed out so that he was looking a lot like the David Tucker I knew before he got ill. Only he was softer. He wasn't, his body was fluid. There was soft, dancing, fluid, almost feminine quality to it. And we just hugged and had a really fine visit. Probably one of the nicest visits I ever had with David. It was just open and transparent and, no pretends and just relaxed and lots of silence and quiet and stuff like that. So I hope that this video has been useful to you, and I hope you make videos if David's spirit comes to you like he's been coming to me, with memories and redos and that kind of stuff. I mean, I've had so many great experiences with him. One pile of them involved being down in Ecuador with him and going to a wonderful healer friend, teacher now, by the name of Zumpa, and was with the Pachama Alliance group, which is very important to me and was very important to David and still is. And I just have so many wonderful memories in the jungle, on the river, around campfires, at Zumpa's compound. And so I have lots of those memories, and they'll keep me refreshed, and I'm happy that David is there to welcome me when I pass. And so far, I'm enjoying myself and finding ways to be useful and stuff like that. And I certainly hope I live a long time to be useful, but maybe I'll be called to be useful from the other side. But I know that many of my friends are there supporting David, particularly Angelus Arrien, Lauren Smith, and so many people who were very supportive of his work with the Pachama Alliance. And if you don't know the Pachama Alliance, look them up. They're a good, lean organization doing good work in the world on many different levels, in many different areas, and work that's greatly needed and, broaching the great divides of many diversities. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. It's been a joy making it, and now I'm going to put on my mask and get back to watering the tree, as I was told to do by some